Hello, friend, and I'm Daniel Moore, and welcome to the More Motivation Pro-Life series. In this series, we're still talking about leadership. We're talking about today the 4 realms of leading. Now, I call them realms because they are actually 4 distinct areas, 4 distinct mindsets that you will have to engage in order to make the leap from just being average and managing to actually leading and producing. You see, leadership brings potential out. Work was meant to develop potential, and a job was meant to produce labor. And so there are a lot of people who are in jobs and they find themselves unfulfilled and all the stresses and frustrations that come with that. But once you move over to leadership, then you start lining up with what you were actually created to do, whatever's in your heart. Your gifts and talents are getting utilized. And so it's a totally different experience. It's a difference between chasing a paycheck and actually developing the potential and releasing that potential that's on the inside. So we're going to talk today about the 4 realms of leadership, 4 distinct realms. And these are areas that we go through. Leadership, to get to the very highest level, is a progression. It's a journey. It's not an event. It's a process, and it happens eventually. So as we move from stage to stage, I'm going to give you some characteristics, some things to look for. And at the end of this, I want you to be able to determine what realm you're at, what level that you're on, and what is it going to take for you to get to the next level. You can even make a list of the people that you have to deal with, the people that you lead, and try to figure out which level corresponds with that relationship. Once you know that, you'll know exactly how to deal with these individual people to pull out the absolute best that they have in them. So the 4 realms of leading. Now remember, we are all leaders. We were all created to lead our own lives. When you controlling the household, when you have to do a budget, you have to do schedules, especially those who have children. You have to manage the lives of these children and things like that. You make leadership decisions every day. So sometimes we don't realize that and we don't give ourselves enough credit. But we have leadership down on our hearts, and it comes out in the crucible of life. And so when we have pressures and we have life situations and things like that, it proves that we have leadership capabilities down on the inside of us. So now we just have to realize that and then begin to develop them. There's some things that'll come easier than others, but we highlight and develop our strengths, and then through discipline and learning, we develop our weaknesses. Okay, so the first level I want to talk to you about is rank. Now, rank has to do with position. It has to do with status and a title. We all start here. Everybody starts at the beginning with a title. With that title comes the authority to do whatever it is that the job requires you to do. And so people follow you at this stage because of your title. They follow you because of your position. Remember, this is where we all start. We all start here. This is stage 1. This is realm 1 of this leadership continuum. And people follow you because you're the boss. And now a position does not make you a leader, but the position is a tool whereby you can actually utilize that position. And what I mean by utilize is you use that position to build people. The position is your vehicle to get a person from where they are to where they need to be. So this first position, it comes and you don't have to work for it. You don't have to gain any, you don't have to prove yourself or anything. This comes with just accepting the title. Now, it's also important for you to remember that this stage, we're not meant to be in this stage for a long time. This stage is, the good thing about this stage is this is where you can really develop your leadership proficiency. You can really learn how to interact and connect with people. This is the very first stage, and it's important for you to know that leadership is not static, it's dynamic. And now what I mean by that is you're not either born a leader or not. That's not the way it works. We've got different gifts and talents, but we all have at least one. And you lead through that. And so the things that you have that you're not born with, you develop, you practice, you train. Everybody that plays basketball is not a shooter. Everybody can't shoot like Ray Allen could back in the day. And so those that that can, maybe it wasn't the easiest thing for them. You see them in the real competitors, you see them in the gym and they're practicing and they're getting better through practice. But just because it didn't naturally happen for them does not mean that they didn't become better shooters over the course of their career. And so there are things that may not come natural to you, things that you may not be good at first, but through discipline, through learning, get yourself a mentor, find somebody who you can connect with and you can learn some things from. And that way you can be better at the things that you need to sharpen up. So leadership is not, and remember, so when you're interacting with people, and they may not be, when they first get to you, strong leaders, remember, it's a developable skill. You can actually develop it, you can nurture it, and you can make it better. So leadership is not static, but it's dynamic. It's not you either have it or you don't, but it's something that you can learn in, that you can grow in, and you have to have a heart for it. So the first level at rank, this is your status, this is your title, this is your position. We're not meant to stay here long. At this stage, people are just there to gain a paycheck. People are just they're there because they got bills, they got needs that they need to financially meet, and this is how they're going to do it, through this job. So the first step of rank is just about making a paycheck, okay? Now, as we move on to relationship, the foundation of every leadership endeavor is your relationship with people. How do you connect with people? And this step at rank, there's no connection yet, okay? Now, this is a good stage because the door is open, okay? The slate is clean, and you're able to write your own ticket from here. You've got the authority. People are going to do what you say to do just because, they're working for you. You've got this title and this position. They know they need to get paid, and so you have like a captive audience. It's like you got people hostage. So this is the first stage, and I think you could probably tell why we're not meant to stay here very long. You want to give people the opportunity to get to know you. You get to know them. You make this connection, and you begin to build the leadership relationship through that, okay? And that brings us to the second realm I want to talk to you about, and that is the relationship realm. Now, this is where people follow you because they like you. Now, this is realm 2, and this is your ability to connect or get along with people. Now, I'm sure there's more than a few who have had jobs where their manager or leader they did not like. And this causes its own set of problems, its own set of difficulties, in the total scheme of things. Relationship section for the leader is where you begin to establish a bond with people. This is actually the ground tilling realm. This is where you lay the foundation for every great leadership endeavor. You lay the groundwork for interacting and connecting with people on a different level, okay? People are ready to go on and become great leaders themselves because of how they're dealt with or how they're interacted with on this level. Here they do it because they like you. Your leadership is built on these relationships, and it's difficult to lead someone who you antagonize. It's difficult to lead somebody who, you bump heads and, they really don't like you. And that scenario is what keeps us in the rank stage too long. It keeps us in that stage where people are there just to, burnout is high there. They're just there to get a job. They're just there because they have to be. You don't have the heart. You don't have the person's creativity engaged. And this is where problems, the leaders, the whole machine is just stagnant at this stage. It's like in neutral. The relationship stage is what begins to engage the hearts of people. You begin to get their creativity, and they begin to think about the solutions to problems and how to make their jobs better. Now, there are 3 things that the leader does in this stage that will help them to build this rapport with people, help them connect, and really, really make this a leadership experience and not just the job. Now, the first thing they do is they listen well. Now, I think we've all talked to somebody at one time or another who they just seem to disconnect. They just seem to float out into space while we're really laying something heavy on them and they just tuned out, okay? You have to listen well. Eye contact, body language, these are things that let people know that you're into what they're saying. You care enough to hear what they're saying. Sometimes you don't even have to have the answer, but just the fact that you were willing to listen makes all the difference in the world. And so one of the three things that in the relationship stage that the leader does in order to build this rapport is they listen well. Two, they observe. They observe what's going on in the people with whom they have to do. You know, you can't come to work and leave everything out in the car before you get there. You know, it's very difficult for you to have a train wreck of a personal life and then come to work and really be professional. You know, these parts of our lives are all connected, they're all interrelated. And so you have to be able to listen and hear. You have to be able to observe what's going on with the people with whom you have to do. And then that's how you also build a rapport. You understand some things. You don't have to necessarily agree with everything, but sometimes when you hear the other person's story, it softens your attitude towards it, and it builds a rapport between the two of you where you actually care about what's going on, and that is the foundation of every great relationship. John Maxwell said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And one of the biggest ways you can let somebody know you care is just by being aware of what they're going through. So the second thing that this relationship stage, the leaders do to build this rapport is they observe what's going on around them, and then they're ever learning. That's the third thing, they're ever learning. You're always providing opportunities for knowledge. People need to know how to move from point A to point B. How do I do this? You don't just set something and demotivate people by giving them goals and objectives that they can never reach. So you listen well, you observe, and then you learn. You learn about, you know about the people, and then you also know about a little bit about what they're going through and maybe how they can get out of it, how they can work their way through. And then also you help them about whatever it is that they have to do at the job. You know, you help them to learn and be better, give them opportunities to be more confident in the things that they do. See, this is the process, or this is the realm where you actually begin to establish this foundation with this people. Trust is built here. You can't have a relationship with somebody without trust, and we already know you can't lead somebody without a relationship with them. If the number one reason why companies, and whether it be corporate America or nonprofits, they get stagnant and the workplace morale is at an all-time low, and that's because there's no trust there, there's no rapport built, there are no relationships there. And so instead of trying to solve the problem outside in, start it inside out. Start building close and personal relationships. Start understanding people and making it so that you have a cohesion. You have people thinking and working in the same direction, looking in the same direction. People that care about each other build a somewhat of a brotherhood, and then things will begin to change from that. So the relationship stage, I want you to remember that this stage is where you begin to make the connections. That's where you begin to care about people. It's okay for you. Now, managers aren't equipped to do that. Managers are just there, and they're there to oversee a process. They have some goals, they have some commands, you know, from higher ups, and their main goal and objective is to get those plans done. Okay, get those goals. We got to reach these goals. No matter what I do to you in the process, I got to get these numbers. Well, a leader builds, their number one goal is to build people, and you use getting the numbers, reaching the goals as a tool to build the people. And so you have to remember that is the process, because once you've built somebody, even if you guys don't work together for life, there are things that they learned through that growth cycle, that growth spurt that they had with you, that they'll be able to take for the rest of their lives. They'll have other jobs. They'll be able to relate better and make better decisions in their personal life, where their relationships with the close personal relationships that they have will even be able to be affected better because of their time with you. And there's no higher a cause or purpose than to be able to touch somebody's life in this way and have them be a better person because of their interaction with you. And see, once one person is affected this way, one person is a built and proven leader, and they've learned how to navigate this process, then millions of lives will be affected just by just starting with this one person who affects others. So the second realm is relationships. So that's ranked relationship. The third realm is results. And this is where your productivity comes in. This is where I could also call this realm reproduction. This is the credibility realm. This is where, as a leader, you begin to distribute, or you begin to show signs that you really know what you're talking about. That things that you're starting to see some. In the business, it's the bottom line. You start making money. The ideas that you have, the programs or the projects that you have a part of are starting to produce. They're starting to make money. They're starting to do what they're supposed to do. This is where your creativity is engaged and you're really starting to make some headway. You produce at this level. Now you've achieved success on a continual level, on a continual basis, and you've got quantifiable results. This is where the numbers start to show that you know what you're talking about. Okay? Now, people at this level, they emulate what you do because they know that it works. Success begets success. You don't have to have a proven system, but if you start doing something that works, then you make a proven system out of it. So success is really the litmus test as to whether what you're doing, whether it be received or not, whether it's judged as a success or not. It just depends on, are you obtaining a favorable outcome? I mean, are you getting, what you need? If a success in a relationship is peace. Is it a strong relationship that you can lean on when you need to? In business, it's that bottom line. Is your business making money? Is your ministry, is it able to pay its bills? And is it completing its mission? All these things. So this is the stage where many leaders or many managers fail because they try to tell somebody to go someplace that they've never been. Okay, now what galvanizes the relationship is that you're not just sitting in one area and you're pointing and having somebody else go do something that you have potentially never ever done. But you've set the example first. They've seen you do it, they've seen you be successful at it, and now they're using you as their role model. You're actually modeling success in front of the people that you're leading. And that makes your whole case more believable. That makes them willing to take risks and take chances that you say. In the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, John Maxwell says that there's a law of magnetism. And the law of magnetism says we attract who we are, not who we want. Okay? So the reason we can call this area the reproduction realm is because you are now reproducing yourself. You are reproducing all of the disciplines and all of the ideas that you have, your work ethic, things like that. You're reproducing what you are. And that's what makes this area, really one of the most important parts, is because this is where you are actually building and shaping people. You're shaping their leadership destiny. You're shaping them. Most people want to be. You don't want to be a travel agent. You want to be a tour guide. A travel agent sets up the travel and it sets up everything, and then it sends you off, to go and do what you got to do. Where a tour guide is with you every step of the way, and they're taking you. You guys are going to each of the areas that you need to see. You're going there together, and you guys are taking the journey together. The tour guide is with you right there every step of the way. The travel agent is still back home while you're in, Jamaica, really fending for yourself. But the tour guide is there with you. So in leadership, you want to be a tour guide. You don't want to be a travel agent. You don't want to point the finger at and tell people where to go from a chair or from your office. Even if you Google leadership today, some of the diagrams, the images that's associated with it, it'll be a guy or a figure standing up high, and then a lot of people underneath that. And that's not the idea you want or the concept you want for true leadership. True leadership is, yes, you have a person who may be in the front, but everybody's on the same level. See, so there's a disconnect that happens at this level, and it happens when people try to tell somebody to do something that they've never done. They want you to be good at something that maybe they're not very good at. So this is this is the most powerful level, because this is also the level where when you get in there and you get in a fight with them, you're actually showing them that you can do it. And like I said, success begets success. So remember, you teach what you know, but you reproduce who you are. So this is the level where you really have to have learned yourself. You really have to have been a student at some point, and now you're ready to pass the things that you have learned on to somebody else. So this is the level, reproduction. This is where you gain your credibility. This is the realm where we really get most of our learning going. This is where we really start to take off. If we were at a pool, this would be the diving board. This is what's going to spring you off and into the water. And so the last realm of leadership that I want to talk to you about is that realm of, I call it the posterity realm. And posterity is really, the word actually means is generations that come after you. And once you've passed this reproduction realm, then this is the people who you've influenced, because now they're leaders and now they're influencing others. These are people who you have, they're a reproduction of the very best of your leadership abilities. And now they're able to lead and they're able to make things happen. And they've got the concept down. And so they know the most important thing is legacy. This is also, I also can call this realm the legacy realm. This is one where, say somebody has worked for you for 7 years and they've learned their leadership characteristics and all that, and now they get a better opportunity, because leadership will provide for you more opportunities for you to grow and in every area. It lines you up with your purpose, and your purpose is your provision, it's your protection. It's going to have you where you need to be in life. Sometimes we have to move to do that. So when the person that worked for you for 7 years and now they've moved on, they got more opportunities, now they're going to take that and they're going to use these leaderships and they're going to affect wherever they go. And they're going to begin to lead people and produce leaders and all that. And this is how you change the culture. You change it from the good old boy system to where work is a drag and it's hard and grievous and it's a grind, to a place where people love to go, because when you begin to flow and work out of your potential and things come out of your heart, you know that you're getting better. You're being the best that you can be at certain things. And so everybody is fulfilled at this spot. We were all created to grow and to learn and to be better today than we were yesterday. And when you create this atmosphere, and you're also making your money at this place, and everything changes. Everything changes when you get this idea, this concept. You buy into this concept. Everything changes. So it's like a culture shift once you start understanding leadership. And at this stage, this is the very upper echelon of leadership. It takes years. It takes a long time to get here. But it's where we're all moving towards. This is where everybody wants to be. It's this legacy phase. This is where people follow you because of your reputation. You've created an environment that prospers in your absence. Now that's the important thing. You know, one of the biggest differences between leading and managing is that managers they try to make themselves indispensable by making their section or their whatever it is that they have to do not able to work without them, okay? And this is a very small way of thinking, because that's not the very top of leadership. If everything is dependent on you, you haven't reproduced anything, you haven't built anything, You know, you made something, you tried to make something dependent on you, and that always ends badly. We always end up thinking that we're more valuable than we really are. But when you lead and you reach this point of legacy, then when you leave, then that department, it prospers because of the things that you set in place, because you built other leaders, because it's more like a baton passing than somebody setting off a bomb because you left. And you have to remember that there's a relationship that you have all the time with these people. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, nothing blesses you more than to see them prosper or to see them do well. And so it's impossible to have that worldview, as a leader because of the relationship that you've built along the way. So level 4, or this fourth realm, is the very top. It's what we're shooting for. It is a journey. It is definitely a journey because it takes you years of continual learning. It's just like life. We're all students of life, and everything that we go through is our opportunity to learn how to be better. Somebody said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But that's only if you have a mindset of learning, if you're ready to take advantage of the things and be better because of them, and not be bitter, not shut down, but be ready to continue on in life. So this posterity level, this is the very upper echelon. This is the very top. This is where there are 3 areas of this part that really, really moves a company along. One is recruitment. Who you got walking through your door. That's going to be the most important aspect. 2 is positioning. Once you know who you have walking through your door, now you have to figure out what they're good at. And then equipping. Once you understand what their gifts are, then you're able to know what to equip them with and how to deal with them. The leader cares enough to look into the person and find out what they're good at, and then that's how they dictate how they're going to go forth with that relationship. And so, we're out of time. So I want to end this by telling you that leadership is influence. It's nothing more and nothing less. It's influence. It's how you influence or get somebody else to do what they need to do and like it. It's how you get somebody to act not just out of their head, but how do you get somebody to engage their creativity and get their heart involved? This is Daniel Moore with More Motivation. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. This wraps it up for our series on leadership. And next we'll be talking about the mind, how the landscape of your mind.